Conference will now be recorded.
All right, welcome everybody out to a special city council meeting tonight. It's September 30th, time is 6:02, looks like 6:01. I'm Aaron Cheatwood, acting as Mayor Pro Tem tonight. In attendance, we have Scott Phillips, Sid Ostergaard, and Mike Johnston with me. And we only have one item on the agenda tonight, a public hearing on the consolidated fee schedule amendment to update cemetery fee schedule columbarian pricing. Matt, are you going to talk us through that?
I am. Thank you. And Council, thank you for agreeing to this special meeting. As you're aware, our open houses for our new columbarium and administration building commence tomorrow. And it's important that we get these niche pricing solidified tonight. I'm going to focus on two documents to simplify my presentation. Both of those documents are in front of you. The first is the spreadsheet, which is also on the screen if you want to follow me there. This is the same one I showed you last week, but it's got, or 2 weeks ago, but it's got some additional information which I think will help make it more clear. By way of context, you established some fees a year ago in hopes of being able to sell some of the niches during the construction period. And those are the prices that are included in column E. And you can see them there entitled current. And those are exactly what's on the books now and what you would pay today for a niche in the columbarium. And those are categorized by, of course, value niches, standard niches, and premium niches. What that means essentially is the location of the niche on the wall. The value niches are the ones that are the highest or the lowest. The standard are kind of just above and below those, with the premiums being about eye height. And so you'll pay a premium for those as their location is probably the most desired. Column F is encompassing numbers from a study. The results are also in your packet. That was done by a company we use quite often to help us price things at the cemetery. And that's in column F, and that's looking at what we should be charging niches for residents and resident companions in order to generate $3.2 million if we were to sell all 1,296 niches, okay? The reason why column F doesn't show anything on non-resident is we didn't ask him to do that. What we did is ask him to identify what the cost of a niche was to generate $3.2 million. Column G is proposal 1. Column G essentially takes column F and uses the same number for residents, and then on non-residents increases it by 10%. So for example, row 6, it's $1,900. Row 7, the non-resident is 10% higher at $2,189. Does that make sense? So essentially non-residents are 10% higher than what residents would pay. Why? Because residents have already invested $2.75 million into the project. They should get some type of discount. I'm not proposing option 1. I am proposing column H, option 2, or proposal 2. Proposal 2 differs in that what we did is take, again, column F study numbers, and for residences, decreased it by 5%. And for non-residences, we increased it by 5%, still maintaining that 10% delta between resident and non-resident, and also allowing us to achieve the $3.2 million we need in niche sales to cover the cost of the project. So proposal 1, it simply takes non-residents and increases it by 10%. Proposal 2 takes residents, reduces it by 5%, and takes non-residents and increases it by 5%, maintaining that 10% delta. Are you with me? And again, we do that for the value, for the standard, and for the premiums. And then what I did is I took an endowment care fee in column I and added it to proposal 2 to get the total in column J, which is what you see there. So column J, again, is an addition of column H and column I. All right? Column K is a private firm whose name I'm not going to tell you. They've asked me to keep it confidential. but it's providing us a comp of what their similarly suited niche prices are. And you can see for value, we are very competitive, particularly for residents. But I will admit that as we get into standard and premiums, we are less competitive with this particular comparison. Okay.
Competitive.
It's still competitive. I think ours has more to offer, quite frankly, in terms of its location, its view, its courtyard, its security, and so forth.
Pretty much the same.
Brand new building.
Brand new building. All right, so I'm going to shift gears and go over to the second document that you have in front of you, which should be, this should be coming up here in just a second, I hope anyway. Give a second. Trina, can I pose up on you for a minute? So I brought the Word document up, but it's not casting it over. I wonder if I need to, I've got this one there.
Go to your go-to screen.
What I did here.
No. Click on your square up here. On that, no, on your, those three dots that come up when you hover there. I'll just hit,
Let me try this.
close it down, and then let's go back into it. Stop sharing. Up. And then do it again. Oh, no, no, no.
Right here. And then we go
Okay,
right.
I think that's right. Yes.
There it is. Okay. Thank you for your patience. You have this document on the desk in front of you. I'm also showing it on screen. This is what I'm asking you to consider to adopt tonight, which is the fee schedule, which is taken in large part from the spreadsheet, which I just reviewed with you, okay? And I'm going to show you not only the changes that I shared with you 2 weeks ago, but some minor changes that you suggested to me when we met, okay? So I'm going to drop down to page 2 at the bottom. And this section is referring to a small niche, what I'm going to call cabinet, that sits fairly close to the maintenance shed, maybe 50 yards away. It was built probably 5 years ago. It's got maybe 24 niches in it. And so this part of the fee schedule is dealing exclusively with that small columbarium. You with me? And what I'm saying here is that the niche price, which I'm going to share with you, does not include basic engraving. Why? The reason being is I've added this to the enrichment fee. In other words, when you go out there and purchase a niche, you're going to pay this fee to purchase the right to put your relatives' remains or cremation remains in there. But they may not pass away for a decade or two. So when they do pass away, they will come back and pay the enrichment fee, which is the fee to open and close the niche wall, to do the engraving on the face of that wall. It is no different than buying a plot. When you buy a plot, you buy the right to bury someone there, and then when they actually pass away, you come back and pay the opening and closing cost. The enrichment is the exact same thing. When they pass away, you're going to pay that in order to open and close that face wall. But what I'm saying here is we're going to move the engraving cost from the purchase of the niche and put it into the enrichment fee. That makes sense? Okay. And what I've done is simply update the fees for this small columbarium, again, which is located adjacent or close to the maintenance yard. And I just updated those about $200 approximately because they had last been updated in 2022. And then you can see there where it says opening and closing niche. I've got weekdays, opening and closing niche weekends. I've added the language includes basic engraving. I've just shifted it from the niche to the enrichment. Okay. So let's move down. I've eliminated the endowment care fee. The reason I eliminated that is because we already sold many of the niches in that area. And it'd be very hard for staff to track those that have already been sold versus those that will be sold after tonight and having to pay that fee. It's just a very hard administrative process, especially when it happens 10 and 20 years down the road and staff's come and gone. And so it's just trying to simplify that process. So we jump down, we're now jumping into the niche, the combariums, what we've identified as combarium Roman numeral 1, combarium Roman numeral number 2, which you'll see out there. And the prices you see there in yellow are the same prices you should see on that spreadsheet in proposal 2 with the addition of the endowment fee to it. Does that make sense? So that's what you see there in yellow for the value, standard, and premium niches in combarium 1 and 2. And then we get down into the enrichments. What I've done is establish the fee for the enrichments at $300 and $400 for resident and non-resident respectively. You can see it there for weekdays, weekends. And then I've got the special engraving cost, which is any engraving above the basic. And that's there for single niche and companion niche at $400 and $600 respectively. And then I want to bring one more item to your attention, which is this last note, which is contained on the cemetery fee schedule. I'm going to read this to you if I may. From time to time, the cemetery may reduce combarium niche prices as part of a purchase agreement that is approved by the city council. For example, 5 years ago, the city council approved a reduced cost with the LOCs for an estate. Okay, that's an example. Another example would be right now we are working with a Jewish synagogue to potentially purchase a large number of niches and plots. I will be bringing that back to you as an agreement, and that may vary from these prices based upon the volume of what they purchase. You with me? That same sentence goes on to state, or general sales reductions that is set for a limited time and available to all residents and or non-residents. Beginning tomorrow, we are going to offer residents a 20% discount from tomorrow to December 31st and non-residents a 10% discount. So in essence, the non-residents are going to pay what the residents are going to be paying, but residents will get an additional 10%. You with me? So hopefully that will serve as a lightning strike to get people out there interested in starting to purchase the niches and create momentum. That's my presentation, and I'm hoping that you'll consider adoption of the attached ordinance that will effectively adopt this fee schedule for the cemetery.
Thanks, Matt. Council, do you have any questions before I open up the public hearing? Not seeing any, I will open up the public hearing. At this point, we don't have anybody in the room, but looks like we have a few people online. If they all work here, well, they have the ability to say something. Does anybody want to come off of mute and make a public comment? I am not seeing any, so I'll go ahead and close the public hearing for this agenda item. And council, I will take questions, comments, or motions.
I move that we accept the proposed fee schedule.
Great, thanks, Scott. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Sid. All right, we'll vote in order. Scott?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And yes. That passes 4-0.
That passes. Thank you. In conclusion, this Friday is the ribbon cutting for the Combarium and Administration Building. We are in the last final steps to get everything just dolled up and spruced up. I hope that I will see you there Friday at noon. There will also be an open house that will commence tomorrow, continue on Thursday, and of course on Friday. But if you've not been out there, it is taking shape very quickly. We'll get the CO tomorrow. You'll see an extensive amount of grass planted on the south side, which should hopefully wrap that up. And I'm just very, very proud of staff who has essentially designed and installed all of the landscaping of that project.
It looks great.
So when do you need us there for the ribbon cutting? At
I
12?
would invite you to be there at least maybe a quarter to latest, but of course get there early and shake hands and hobnob. We've got invitations that have been sent out. Ryan tells me over 200 people. And so hopefully they will show up and have a great crowd and we'll start doing some sales of niches.
Awesome.
sorry to say, I will not be there. I'm definitely going to miss it, but my brothers are flying in from Texas Thursday, and we've got plans for Friday and
Understood.
Saturday.
No apologies necessary. Understood.
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Thanks, Scott. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Done. 16.
We'll need to get these new prices up as soon as we possibly can. I will clean it up tonight at home. Out on the municipal code.
Aye.
Well, there's some changes, such as the basic engraving, for example, costs have been moved. And so there's some updates.
We done, huh?
Okay.
Well done, Mayor.
Sorry. We will need, we need to get updated everywhere that we have information. So
I want to bring a goldfish again.
that will take time.